Hey everyone, here's the next video in our series, which is about web hosting. Okay, so if you're once you've registered your domain name and you have the login information, etc. for that, you've got your domain name all set, you're going to want to get yourself a web host. Okay, so the web host is obviously a place where your website files are going to be placed, or your website platform is going to be hosted from there. Okay, so you usually pay a monthly fee for that, or you can pay all in one shot for the year. There's different types of web hosts. There's shared hosting, which is typically what most people need, unless you're a huge, unless you have a big website and you're getting a ton of traffic, that the server can't keep up, then you would want to go to something called like a dedicated IP hosting. That's not necessary though. I mean, any of the websites that I've ever done have always been on shared hosting. But if you ever found the need for it, or you wanted to just make sure that you had a super quick website, you could go and pay the extra money for a dedicated IP address hosting. But that's not necessary, and usually if you ever need to upgrade, you can go ahead and upgrade later on if you found that you had a website that was generating a lot of traffic. But typically most people just need the shared web hosting. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. So you can again do a search for through Google for like cheap web hosting or whatever. You're going to see some popular names come up, like HostGator. That's a popular website that a lot of people use for web hosting. GoDaddy's another one for web hosting. A lot of these websites here are just they're affiliate websites. They're giving reviews on hosts, but every time somebody buys through them, they're making money. So I don't know if I always recommend using those or not. But yeah, so that's how you would look. You find somebody who's decent, somebody who has a reasonable price for you per month. For example, the one host that I use is Host Metro. They're okay. I mean, they're not the best host I've used, but they're not the worst host I've used, but their pricing is decent. So if you go in here, it's $2.95 a month for life. Okay, so that's what you're paying per month. Now you got to pay that for the entire year, but I mean, that's only what, $30 some, $2.95. So we're talking $35.40. Okay, so that's not bad. American, US dollars. So it just talks about maximum hosting space, maximum bandwidth. So unlimited domain hosting. So what that means is that once you have shared hosting, you can host more than one website on there. So you could set up one website, related to one particular topic and niche. Then later on, you could go register a different domain name and install a different version of your website platform, like WordPress, and you could go and have another website hosted on there, and you could have another website. So you can host as many websites as you want on shared hosting, typically. Okay, in most cases. There are some that set limits, maybe 10 sites, and then you got to start buying add-ons, but you won't need that. So you want to go with shared hosting. So that's who I have. So I'm just going to jump to my account. So I'm already logged in to my Host Metro account. So they're all different, but typically most of them have something called cPanel. Okay, that's what most web hosts have now. So you want to click on anything that says log into cPanel. And once you go into the admin area for cPanel, again, a lot of web hosts, they're going to look different. Typically they're going to look different, but they're all going to have a lot of the same type of stuff. So a lot of this stuff you can ignore right now because it's more advanced. As you become more and more familiar with websites and different things down the road, then you may have a need for some of the stuff, but typically you don't need to worry about a whole lot of this. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, while you're in this cPanel area, you're going to want to look for a place where you can add the domain that we just registered, right? So you've registered that domain somewhere else, or on your particular web host, whatever the case may be, but you've registered that domain name. So you want to let this web host know that you have that domain name, and you need them to set up a directory area where your instance of WordPress can be installed. So you've registered that domain name somewhere else. We need to go and create a directory for it. So under domains, you'll find something that'll say, domain control central or something like this, domains. So you click domains. You're going to go in here, and this is all the different domain names that are currently listed. This is where their web host files are installed. A lot of these websites aren't even online anymore. But this is actually where you would go and add the domain name that you just registered, right? Okay, so you would say create a new domain because we want to add the domain name that we registered elsewhere. So you click that, put the domain name in there. In our case, it's this, but whatever domain name you registered, you would put it in there. Now it's saying share document root, home, and it's saying to share with this. Well, that's our main domain. When I registered this account, this is the main, where the main domain name was set up. I don't want to share with them. I want it to be in a different directory so that it's not confusing and it doesn't cause any conflicts. So I'm just going to uncheck that. And now it's saying specify the directory where you want the files for this domain to exist. So it's going to create a specific directory that says how to create a website and profit.com. That's where we're going to install the files, okay? And then as far as the subdomain section here, you can leave that. We're just going to go submit. Pause the video for a sec until it's done. Okay, so it's done creating that directory and adding that domain name for that directory. All right, so we've added a directory which is named after the domain name that we have registered. Okay, so nothing's pointed yet, nothing's installed in that directory. This is just a place that's been created where we're going to install our WordPress platform in this case. Okay, we still will have to point the domain name and do a lot, but we'll do that in the next video. Okay, so here's the directory that's created. So that's good. Now what we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to jump back to our cPanel. So we'll go log into cPanel. I'm just going to go down to the very bottom. I'm going to go to WordPress. And it's showing you all those extensions and add-ons and different things there, but we don't need to worry about those right now. We're not dealing with that stuff. We're just going to deal with WordPress. We want to install it into that directory, so it's telling you how much space you have available and what the required space is to install that. So we're going to go install now. That's the version we want to install, HTTP, because we don't have a SSL certificate. We don't need to worry about that, so HTTP. We want to install it. We got to find that directory that we just created. So there we go. This is the directory we want to install it in. So we go how to create a website in profit.com. We can remove that. I'm going to call it how to create a website and profit. Not a big deal. We can change these settings later. The site description, you know. Okay, so something like that. You can change these anytime. It's not important. I'm just kind of showing you. You need to have a username and a password. Okay, so I'm going to hide my password because I don't want to broadcast that to everybody on this video. But for username, you want to pick something other than admin, preferably, because that's an easy one for hackers to start to guess. So I would just pick something simple. Something like that for your username. You want to make record of that so that you have it, so you can log in And then you pick a password. You want to pick a password with various numbers, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, letters, special symbols, asterisks, exclamation points, whatever. But whatever you do, you just want to record your username and password so you can log into your account. Okay, so I'm going to pick something here. You won't see it because I've hidden it. Okay, so there we go. So mine's very strong because I've added a mix of uppercase, lowercase, and special symbols. This is an email address that's been set up automatically for you through your web host that relates to your domain name, so that you can access anything if you want to later. That's a different video. We're not going to worry about that. I'll leave that alone. We want it in English. These are extra little features, security features, etc. So do you want to limit login attempts? So if somebody's trying to hack into your website, this will limit their login attempts before they get blocked. Okay, so I would say yes. That way, after 3, 4, 5 tries, it'll block them out. Okay, this doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Advanced options, database name, you can leave that alone. Some people like to name them something different, again, because it's a security issue. Table prefix, I'm going to leave it alone. Disable update notification emails. I wouldn't recommend that because it's going to tell you when you have updates needed on or required on your website, so I would leave that alone. Auto upgrade. Do not auto upgrade. I'll leave it at do not auto upgrade. I like to do that myself, but you can pick whatever you want. Sometimes this can cause a conflict, though, or cause an issue with your website if it's done an upgrade and maybe some plugins aren't upgraded or whatever, right? So you got to be kind of cautious. Auto upgrade WordPress plugins, I'm going to say yes. Auto upgrade WordPress themes, so it'll upgrade any themes that you have. I'm just going to say yes. You don't have to do this. Backup location, we can leave it default. Automated backups, so that means your web host provider is going to automatically update your website for you whenever you require it. So you can say don't back up, which I would never recommend, or you can say do it once a day, once a month, once a week, once a month, or custom. So if you're adding a lot of content on a regular basis, then I would say do it, once a week or once a day. If something happens, then at least you got a backup copy. If you're not adding content very often, then you can probably get away with once a week or once a month or whatever. So in my particular case, I'm just going to say once a month. You can leave that, and then you're going to pick a theme. This is the theme. It's like a simple, basic, free theme that's going to be installed on your WordPress instance. Okay, so there's free themes, free basic themes, but then there's premium themes that you can buy, and you can install them across your entire website, and you can customize them and get really creative with columns and widgets and menus and colors and all sorts of stuff. But just pick something simple, select that. I'm going to hit install. And there we go. So it's saying that it's been successfully installed there. And there's the URL. And this is where you log in to go into your website. So your domain name /WP admin. So that's WordPress-admin area. Okay? So right now, it's installed in that directory, but we can't access it yet because we haven't pointed the domain name. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to point the domain name in the next video, and then everything should be able to be accessed, and we can go from there with new videos. Okay, so I'm going to show you in the next video how to point your domain name to your web hosting. Okay.